Hello, good day, good evening. Hello, everyone. And it's Crisandro, of course. And well, that was a jolly good weekend, wasn't it? I'm glad that, I was confident about it all anyway, but just for the club's sake, I'm happy that we managed to get our season up and running, as it were. But 4 points in the first two games, not too shabby, really. Obviously, it should be six because of the way we played, but it is what it is. And at least we stay unbeaten at this point in time. To my left is Shubes, of course, with still with an issue with Chrome, as you can see. How you doing, bro?
I'm doing well, Chris. How are you?
Yeah, I'm still buzzing, man. I'm still buzzing. It's going into work. Long bank holiday and then going into work this morning was still with a buzz, still with a smile, and I'm just kind of happy that the group was a kind of a nice, calm place because it was kind of murderous after the Leicester game, wasn't it?
Well, give it time. There's still Sunday in St James's, so.
And that'll be a game that we'll be vlogging live as well. If you haven't seen the vlog for the game against Everton, it'll be in that corner over there, just right above Shoop's head. And watch it, and you'll see that because you'll see that I've got a new partner to my left as well, and he sounds like a lot of fun. My previous partner Jill seems to have gone a bit missing, but I'm sure she's all right. And well, it was party time after the fourth, especially after the fourth goal went in, and we'll be enjoying that before the trip to Newcastle. But I'm a bit more confident about that one, but than I was last season, to put it mildly. But did you watch much of the game? Well, obviously you watched the game. I saw you in Tottenham. I saw the pictures. What did you think of it?
So first of all, you have to caveat Everton. This isn't the Everton that I remember last season giving us a real run for our money. This wasn't them, you know. Anana had been sold, I think, because part of their PSR thing, and I think they're missing a lot of players for injury. Yeah. We saw the previous week. Well, we saw match of the day anyway. Brighton's attack caused them a lot of problems, you know, and I think. Yeah, and obviously they went down. So I think they went down to 10 men because Ashley Young got sent off. And actually, a friend was a buddy of mine, Lee and Linz. Yeah. Linz is a toughie, and her husband is a Liverpool fan. I don't know how that household survives sometimes, but basically, I was saying, how on earth can you have Ashley Young? I mean, look, I'm not going to be ageist because James Milner is 38, but Ashley Young is 39, and
he's still.
I mean, credit him, he's still playing at that level, but I don't think, you can't, so I think you got that caveat in there. I think Jordan Pickford, if you look at that, there's a save I think he makes where it takes a very bad deflection and he adjusts his feet quickly enough to make a save because it's going in. That ball is going, that is going in. And so he does that. And so this is, I think, before Basuma scores, but it's still. I mean, that goes in. Yes. I mean, that you're thinking, oh my God, what? Your head will go down. I think first of all, Everton has gone, and Everton have chances. There's a beautiful moment. I listened to Alex de Gold's podcast he does with Rob Guest, and there's a moment I muted the Spurs TV so to watch. With his commentary, not just what they're listening to, just so I get some ideas, just to focus my mind. And there's a moment that I can't remember in the first half. There's a cross comes in. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is a yard away, so obviously it goes out of play. But that timing slightly changes. It goes from being 2-0 to 2-1, and then the nerves start to jangle. There were other moments. I can't remember where it was. I think Vicario had to make a very good save. I think from Odegaard, from Lindstrom. After Odegaard made a mistake. Luckily, Vicario didn't yell at Odegaard like he did at Bergvall.
Yeah.
Or Bergvall, however you say that. And then, we saw like a homage to the Burnley goal. So, which I ironically was being managed by Sean Dyche at the time. Actually, funnily enough, when Mickey did that thing. So look, you can only beat what's in front of you, and we beat it. And I say it with a heavy heart because most of my friends who are from Liverpool are Everton fans. Sorry to my mate Clara, who's a big, copite. Most of my friends who are from Liverpool are Everton fans. So I've been to Goodison Park. I actually went with Christopher back in 2018, I think it was. And I fell in love with the club. I fell in love with the ground. I have a lot of affection for Everton as a club, as I've lived with the city as well. So yeah, I mean, I think it was. I mean, when I was watching the match, I mean, Wilson Odebear, when he got the ball, he created a buzz. There was a I don't know. There was that weird. The crowd kind of got it. Here's the thing: we signed him. No one knew people knew he. Doesn't say no one knew he was. No one knew he was signing. I think only one person called his signing, and there's a stat saying, "Oh, he's in for players who are teenagers. He has the 4th highest level of take-ons," which is great, and I don't dispute that. My only thing is with that stat, how many of those take-ons led to a chance? And then when you look at it that way, his numbers I think fall down quite a lot. And the caveat is, well, he's at Burnley, so therefore they're not going to be creating as many chances, which is obvious. That's just But yes, he beat a man, and he sizzled. But was there a stake at the end of it? Yes, not really, because he wasn't able to find a player. Now, first of all, he's only been training there for a week. He's not had the chance to learn timings, because football is about learning something. Like, look at Kane and Son for all your scoring needs, as we used to say that picture used to go. Because they knew each other's timings almost telepathically, because they've been playing together at that point for 6 years. And if you think about it, Sonny kind of usurped Dele Alli in the way that Sonny became. I think Sonny was a top scorer in the year we won the Champions League. We qualified the Champions. We didn't win it. We qualified the Champions League, and so I know I'm getting delusions of grandeur.
That'll be a great time.
I'll leave that to the. Do you know what? I will leave any delusional shit to the clickbait pods. Not me, not us. But and by the way, shots fired. Welcome at me. I've seen you. I will ground you into powder. All right. So no, well, like I said,
it's all love here.
It's all love. It's all love, except for the guy who's actually from Tottenham. Like I said,
I know.
Yeah. but like I said, here's the thing. Like, just on this thing, like, celebrating Seven Sisters, N17, our heritage, and I'm like, Seven Sisters is in N15. Seriously, do you want to start a riot between South Tottenham and seriously, there are fights that happened between. They call it postcode. They call it the postcode fights, postcode wars. You know what I'm saying? You've got M13 on one side, M17, you've got M15.
Wars,
all it takes is for you to be in a different postcode for it to kick off. So it was, that was a bit, but that bit aside, no, like I said, 4-0. You did what you did. Basuma. I mean, do you know? I don't know. One of my favorite Indiana films is The Last Crusade, about the penitent man. And and as Indiana Jones walks through, he bows his head. He doesn't get his head cut off because he's bowing. He's penitent. If you look at Basuma, I was watching him, and you look at his eyes. There's a pleading look in his eyes. He's like pleading with the crowd. Please forgive me. I know not what I do, which is kind of the problem. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. He did bow very, really low for that. I think I got that on the vlog actually, just from the distance. And
I mean, I think Andrew talks about it because look, he's like the child that you've put on the naughty step. He's now good as gold. But he had a great game. He tried passes. Not a lot of them worked out. But that's not going to happen unless you're Xavi, Iniesta, or Modric or Pirlo. Not every through the line pass you're going to make is going to go through. That's not how it works. He kept on trying. He put in the tackles.
True.
And so I mean,
I thought he marked midfield really.
Pardon? I didn't. You broke up a little bit there. Sorry.
No, yeah, I thought you completely dominated midfield. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I thought he completely dominated midfield, really, and I mean defensively and offensively. I know he tried a lot of passes. But I think most of the long balls worked out, and the shorter ones are a little bit. Well, I'll say 80-20, but yeah, he kind of ran most of the midfield. I thought did very well. It really showed that he'd grown up quite a bit in that short space of time.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So one of the things. So my friend of mine, Borley, he runs a really good Everton blog called NSNO on the site formerly known as Twitter. I'm not going to call it by the letter that comes between, that comes before Y. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm sorry. I'll call it that. And he said, look, yeah, basically, he said, and a good buddy of mine, one of the best huggers you'll ever meet, superb hugger. He basically said that Gay, basically, just to kind of Gay, one of the things he was very good before he obviously went to PSG, and they signed him for a good number of years. But he covered up a multitude of their sins. Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you just cut out just a little bit just then.
My apologies. Okay, so I was going to say that. So I'll restart this again. Idrissa Gana Gueye covered up a lot of their sins. That's what a defensive midfielder does.
Yeah,
he is basically the clean-up guy after a bloody gruesome murder. He will clean up, get rid of all the evidence. It's like a murder never happened. He's basically like Dexter. You come in, lays down a plastic sheeting, disposes of the body that you never know happened, and that's what he did. But he's now back from PSG. I don't know if he went anywhere else beforehand. He's obviously a fair bit older. Can't do what he did. And Decore is a great player. I mean, he was on a player that we were linked with quite a few. I think when Mr. Bello was about to move on, and he was playing as a 10, and he was in no man's land because he didn't have the ability to make those line-breaking passes, or to support Calvert-Lewin, who was isolated like crazy. Nor was he back farther and deep enough, so he was like in no man's land. So I think I'm not saying like that. Sean Dyche is a very intelligent manager. I mean, I don't know if you watched match. Did you watch Match of the Day 2 on Sunday? Did you have a chance to watch that?
I missed that one.
So Troy Deeney,
didn't get a chance to.
Said something. Troy Deeney spoke about he said, look, he said that's something that Sean Dyche taught him when he played under Sean Dyche. I think at Watford, and Sean Dyche said to him, taught him that 3 mistakes can lead to a goal. So therefore, you minimise your mistakes. So Sean Dyche is a very intelligent manager. I don't want this to come across as like I'm snagging off Sean Dyche. I think he's a very good manager. Everton have finally got their man after God knows how long. But right now, they are. I just think Everton are at that stage where they're hoping the 3 promoted teams are crappier than them. That's what they're hoping for. So I've said, and for me, I'm saying that this Sunday at St James's Park, that will be the Royal Barometer reading. And even then, Newcastle have been a little bit off. They're not really. It hasn't really got going. I mean, yes, they were down to 10 men against Southampton, so that's always difficult. And yes, and I thought they were very fortunate to get the draw against Bournemouth. And I think they were really. I mean,
they should have lost.
Yeah. So, but who knows? Dr. Tottenham is well travelled. He will make house calls no matter where you're at. So, but like I said,
no, well, that's
please.
Karen.
No, please, Christopher.
No, that's what. Yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, obviously, St James's Park is not a place that we travel to the best of times. I think we won out the last 3 visits. I think, and most of those visits have been absolute total humping. So we go there with trepidation, but I think it is probably a different kind of trajectory that we're on now compared to back then, where we were. I know you touched on Everton having a few players out. We had a few players out ourselves during that weekend, from what I remember, and boy, did we look bad for it. But it was all a learning curve, really, wasn't it, in terms of what we were aiming to achieve and the team that we're seeing now. So maybe some good has come out of those huge defeats that we've had, especially last season.
I mean, I think that 2021, 22, that was the Nuno Espirito Santo. That was one of his only games that he did quite well in, and he managed to beat Newcastle. They obviously had the takeover at the time, but they weren't able to buy the players they were able to buy, obviously, towards, and then ironically, St James actually helped us, because obviously we beat them at St James's, and then Newcastle did us a favour by beating Arsenal. The reason I remember that game is that my Achilles was still quite bad at the time, and the day before we played Burnley, and I was still like hobbling around on my crutches. So I thought, well, do you know what? I'm not going to. If I watch this game, I'm going to stress myself out. I'm just going to go to sleep. I'm going to will myself to go to sleep, and I'll get up early in the morning, and I'll find out the result, and then go back to sleep again. That's what I did. So St James's has been kind of pivotal, and people don't realise Northumberland is actually, people don't realise the links that we have between Newcastle and Tottenham. So the Duke of Northumberland, so with those folks who don't know, is the reason we have Tottenham Hotspur, Harry Hotspur, and that the road I lived on was called Tynemouth, because it was at the mouth of the Tyne. That's what he named the road after. Bruce Castle. There's a lot of there's a lot of links between Newcastle and Tottenham, just from the fact that the Duke of Northumberland had lands in London, and that's where we have our lands now. That's where we are. But no, I mean, it'll be interesting, because obviously Mickey van der Ven, they really bigged him up. He had an awful game against Isak, who turned him inside out. So interesting to see what happens there. I don't know. I don't know if Guimaraes if he was injured, because I don't remember him. I don't know what. I can't recall him being featured on Match of the Day 2 for playing as being. I don't remember anything he did for that game against Bournemouth.
Who's that? Sorry?
So I don't know whether Bruno Guimaraes. I don't know if he was injured or he was unavailable, because obviously he had been at the Copa America. So I don't know whether he's at full fitness, because although he didn't go as deep as, say, obviously Kuti did, or say Mickey, although he didn't play that many games, you know what I'm saying, or any games really. Bruno Guimaraes is a huge part of that Brazil team. So whether they're missing him, like I said,
play against Bournemouth.
Okay, because I don't remember him doing that much. So whether he hasn't found his form yet, because obviously he might be knackered. Whether he's looking to maybe move on, because obviously Newcastle, they've had the PSR things. They've had to do that horse trading to avoid the PSR penalties. So I think they're still looking to bring in Mark Gahey, but that's the plan. A bid has been made. But with Palace having lost 2 games and about also Joachim Andersen apparently to Fulham, because I think Joachim Andersen did play at Fulham, I think under Marcus Silva, if memory serves me. I don't think they're going to want to lose him. So, like I said, it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I mean, I'm very glad that we seem to have done the bulk of our work in the window. There are going to be other clickbait Spurs pods that are going to talk about the transfer window. I'd rather not. Just because there's fuck all we can do about it. There's fuck all we can do about it. I get why there's interest and there's big excitement. Unless we're going to sign Rodri or Lamine Yamal, or, do you know what I'm saying? I just don't see us, I'm just not going to get that excited about it. I will say I'm happy with our work in the window in terms of the fact that, we have a deep squad, which I can look at and I don't think, I don't like the look of him coming off the bench. So that's something I can look at. I can take, we've got, like I said, I think you've got a combination of, you've got like the young lions or young cubs. You know, we will say cubs for our lovely friend Deborah. That's Deb Tompkinson, for those who don't know. Lovely lady. I haven't seen her for ages. I haven't seen her for a long time, and actually makes the best pies. Fantastic pies. And I'm not going to talk about her muffins. Well, we've resolved not to talk about Deb's muffins.
Well, she did. Because I was literally saying that, yeah. I'm afraid, yeah, she hasn't got our muffins out at Tottenham for a long time, and we all miss them. But let's just touch on something before. Actually, I just see some news just pop up that Angela Bonner was literally signed for West Ham again on a 1-year contract, so they're going back and trying to please people. But let's touch on something that we mentioned earlier regarding the Everton game. We talked about Odebear and what a good debut that was. You said that there wasn't too much of an end product at the end.
Not in this game. Not exactly.
Yeah, sorry. I think that had been the plan, just like literally run at them.
I think it's more a case of we need someone that can offer something different. I think Timo Werner, he has got that little drop of the shoulder, and he does it on the other side, to what Brennan Johnson does, kind of thing, the drop of the shoulder, but he doesn't beat the man. He lets run space, do a little drop of the shoulder, and whip the ball in, kind of thing, at pace. I think you want someone a little bit different, and more importantly, he draws players in, because the minute a person gets beaten and you realize there's this person behind you, you're naturally going to think, I want to go back towards goal. That's the natural instinct. And when that happens, obviously, it makes it much harder for you to play a pass. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah, because there's someone blocking you. Naturally, you're in that blocking position. Even though you've maybe beaten someone, you still got that layup ball off to somebody. So I think a couple of times, because like I said, he doesn't know the timings. He's only had 4 training sessions, so he doesn't really know where everyone's going to be at a certain time, And it's kind of like, the best way I can describe it is,
I think the plan is let him loose.
Yeah, let him loose. But the way I can describe it is this, right? For those who don't know, but Christopher knows this quite a lot. I text Christopher a lot, and whenever I have to use my thumbs, I make so many spelling mistakes and typos. Okay. However, when I have like my laptop and I can have a physical keyboard, the mistakes are rather less on WhatsApp. But the difference, what I'm trying to say is, right now Odebear is typing with his thumbs, but the more training he gets, the more time he spends with the other players, the more coaching he gets from the Spurs coaches who are going to drill him into what he's been asked to do, then the more it will be looking as if he's typing on a keyboard rather than with thumbs. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, I think that's the analogy. Yeah, I think we got that analogy. Makes sense. Yeah, so not too bad. I mean, so all in all, very good debut for Odebear. And other bright sparks in the game for you?
Oh God, there was so many. I mean, I think there were moments. First of all, Dejan Kulusevski, his ability to carry the ball was beautiful. I have made. So I'm not going to jinx it, because I've made comparisons with a goat before, with Basuma, and that went tits up. So I'm not going to make any comparisons with the GOAT. All I can say is, I think Kulu is just so good at carrying the ball. I love what he does. I think Maddison, he got another assist with the corner, I think it was. And
he did, yes.
He got an assist. And I think, with Destiny and with Wilson Odebear, these are players. I think Wilson Odebear, he's obviously been in Yorkshire, so I don't know how much English. No, not Yorkshire, Burnley. So I don't know how much English he even speaks. Lancashire, he's been in Burnley, so I don't know. Hey, old lad, by gum, and all that kind of stuff. So right now, Debs is going to be aiming that pie at my head. I know that. But
it's all gravy.
But But like I said, they're developing understanding, and that's what you want. You want those wonderful triangles. I mean, I remember. I don't want to mention them lot down the road, but I remember when Cazorla and I can't remember who else it was when Wenger. I can't remember was it. Can't remember who it was, because Cazorla was part of that when he would run those beautiful little triangles. I think Cazorla and Ozil, I think it was maybe, and they would play those beautiful little triangles in between each other. I can't remember who the third player was, but they were just so good at doing that, and just absolutely lethal at doing that. And obviously we haven't, so if they, they didn't seem to lack, because obviously I don't know how much English, like I said, Odebert speaks. I know obviously he obviously learned a bit of English, but football's a language in itself, kind of thing. And they are developing understanding, and I think they were causing Everton overloads. But I think that's because you've got, I think is it Roman Dixon? I think it's the lad's name. He was 19 and making his league debut. You've got two very immobile centre backs. Yeah, and as you're very two immobile centre backs. Yeah, and then you've got. Okay, I just think it was a really, like I said, the barometer will be a more stricter barometer will be Newcastle at St James's, and then obviously we have the real big barometer. Yeah. The first game after the international window is the North London Derby, right? So the first match. Yeah. So if anything, I like to think of it as these are like tune-up fights. Before you take on the heavyweight champion or have a serious title contender, you want to have warm-up. You want to have a bit of a warm-up to stretch you in different ways. I think apart from one corner Everton had, which ended up in head tennis, a lot of head tennis. And I think Maddison blocked on the line. I think it was Maddison put his body on the line just to block a shot. Apart from that, I don't think Everton offered that much. Yeah. But obviously that isn't the litmus test. The litmus test will be against Newcastle, who've got some absolute units, and you've got Arsenal, who have a combination of both units and have just been drilling set pieces like crazy and are very good at them. We found out to our cost last season. But I honestly, I said, and I said, look, we've made positive steps, and I'm happy. Obviously, that happiness could get ruined in next week when all the players a lot of players go off for international break, and then you're like praying that you're praying they don't get injuries. That's. And by the way, speaking of internationals, I think Christopher mentioned this on the Tottenham Supplement Facebook page, but sadly, Crisandro and Shubes passed away yesterday. And whatever you want to say about him, and whatever, tactically or whatever, I always thought he was a thoroughly decent guy. And I just go back to the fact that I think Jane Collins once said, "Show me someone who's never made a mistake. I'll show you someone who's never lived." And when you're in the public eye in this country with our rags, I wouldn't even call them newspapers. They're rags. They're not even fit to be cat litter trays, especially the ones owned by Rupert Murdoch. Go after people. You're gonna, your mistakes. I mean, I make mistakes. Christopher makes mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes. What we don't have is our mistakes shown to the entire world. So, Crisandro and Eriksen, I'll always be grateful that you gave us that wonderful win in Munich, that 5-1, and you got us qualified. And let's face it, that was hard enough. So we found out McLaren, the Wally with a brolly, couldn't get us qualified. For the Euros 2 years later, when all you had to do was avoid defeat, still managed to. Do you know what I mean? So true, I think that says it all. So the fact that he qualified and got us as far as he did. I mean, let's face it, he got hit. That it was that same nemesis. It was that Portuguese coach. I forgot his name. The Brazilian coach that went to Chelsea for about 6 months. He just couldn't get past him. And even that guy said, and even then, even when he was linked with a job, because they were looking to get rid of him, England were looking to get rid of him, and as soon as that happened, every single person, every single red top went out and started digging up as much as they could on his life. And he thought, fuck that shit. I don't want any piece of this. I'm going to stay in Portugal. You know, which I don't blame him for. I really don't. You know, so no, like I said, but the international come in. Obviously, injuries can happen. I think it'll be interesting to see what happens in the national break, because obviously it's Lee Carsley who's in charge, so it's not Gareth Southgate. So he might want to make his change. And I think these are these friendlies or are they qualifiers? I don't know. Qualifiers or friendly?
I have no idea.
And even the friendlies aren't the friendlies and the friendlies count towards like your Nations League and all that kind of crap. But like I said, it's going to be interesting. He does get caught up. Yeah, I mean, I expect. I mean, obviously, you know, and that's the thing. You hope that your players, you know, come back and don't get injured. But like I said, we've got a deep. We have a deeper squad. We've got players who I think what I call young lions. I mean, I saw this lovely post by Aaron Lennon for Crisandro and Everton, and I remember Aaron Lennon when he went from being a player that was a young kid, bit of potential. Wayne Rowledge breaks his ankle. He's out for about 3 months or 4 or 5 months. And by the time he gets back, Aaron Lennon is already one of the first names on the team sheet.
And that's spot and has run with it.
And people forget Aaron Lennon. He was a mainstay at Tottenham for about 7 years. People forget how many years he was with. He left at very early. He was actually quite young when he left. He was still like I think he was mid-20s something, or just north of that. He was with us for a long time.
Yeah.
And actually, ironically, he also went to Everton. He went to Everton. He wasn't happy about it. If you remember those pictures, he was scowling in all the pictures. And then they had to redo them, and he's like smiling. He's creepy smiling like the Joker or something. It's such a forced smile.
Yeah, exactly.
But no, like I said, look, I think here's the thing, we've bought people. I mean, I had one guy. I said we spoke about like Dominic Solanke. Oh, he's this. Look, I think there's the rest of football. They do this thing about strikers, and right now there's a real lack of quality number 9s. You know, there is a real, and football comes in cycles. It comes in waves. I'm sure next year there'll be a ton of good number 9s, but right now those number 9s aren't as scattered. You know, and who knows, a number 9 may emerge out of the youth team and you know become like the next best thing since sliced bread. But so I think to get Dominic Solanke, to spend 65 million pounds on a player who has no resale value. He has no resale value, not really, unless he does something like amazing at like the age of 30 or something. He is a barnstormer, and then someone around me says, "Oh, but you know what? He may be 30 years old, but we'll pay God knows how much money to sign him." Do you know what I'm saying? You know, I don't see that happening. But I said, so he's as close to oven ready as you can hope for. Berrival, we've seen his potential. You know, on the basis of some of his performances in the friendlies, people said that he should be getting a nod ahead of James Maddison. Me personally, I am more willing to start Decky over James Maddison. I mean, I like James Maddison. I think he's an excellent player. But I was just so impressed by what Kulu can do. And apparently, I didn't realise this. He actually played, although at Juventus he played on the wing, and obviously he came to us, he played on the wing. You know, because that's what we wanted. We wanted Ginger from Sweden. That was literally our advert. Wanted a Ginger from Sweden to come to play in the wing. You know,
that was it.
And in return, we'll give you the number 21 on your. You know, but apparently at Atalanta, who I don't know if he played with Romero at Atalanta. I don't know if their paths crossed at Atalanta. He actually played as a number 10. Because only until he went to Juventus, they put him on the wing. And I think, for me personally, I would love the idea that we don't play that kind of, Conte's have that real ingrained patterns. You know, you play. These are the things. I drill you, I drill you, I drill you, and you will play this thing when this thing happens. And there are some people that can do that. And I've seen it in fights. There's a 18A, and that's a combination that only the cornerman knows. The person hits it, and then he wins it by knockout. Yeah, because the cornerman spotted that opening, and he realizes, and if it's kind of, and he realizes the person's doing whatever, the guy will do that. Whereas if you look at Ancelotti has this approach where, you know what? Defensively, I work on what I want us to do. But when they're attacking, these are adults. I let them do their thing. I don't overcoach them. I let them do their thing. And I think those of you who saw my very unprofessional commentary, was it last 2 weeks ago when we were podding and I was watching the European Super Cup final, and I was just like, I just like kept switching off just to watch. I was like, wow, Real Madrid are really good. They're just, because they were playing effervescently, and that's what I'm saying. And even though they're not really doing that, right now they are doing what we did last season. They're trying to score the perfect goal, and Ancelotti's getting really pissed. Says, look, you don't need to score the perfect goal, just score the fucking goal. Do you know what I'm saying? And if you have to be intricate to get in the position, yes, be intricate, but just knowing when to be one less. It's like when you have like a really good dish, and you plan it, and you have loads of ingredients. But actually, what makes it better is when you take away 2 or 3 elements. So it's still a wonderful dish. It's one constructed, but you've not spent time passing around, and you let the main ingredients shine. You know, I think we're still at that stage. I mean, there was that wonderful moment where, I've given Bill to Brennan Johnson. I said that Brennan Johnson in the attacking phase has not shone as brightly as his counterparts. I don't think I'm unfair to say that. He's done his job as a teammate. He's done the tackles, he's done the duels, he's made the running, he's done the pressing, and I'm very happy with that. But in the final third, his attacking quality, attacking ability, has not shone through in these last couple of games. Apart from that, they had a good link up with him and Kulusevski, and then it's an absolutely sublime pass because everyone's looking at them and they're not looking. And Kulusevski spotted the opening. He obviously has enough trust that if he in Bissouma to whack it, and look, it goes in off the underside. There are times it'll hit the crossbar and just bounce away. There are 2 shots that Romero had and Kuti had. True. They could have gone off. They could hit the crossbar, gone off. Do you know what I'm saying? But they hit the underside and had enough spin on them to go in. Sometimes you're lucky. Sometimes it's your night. Sometimes you can hit. I mean, do you remember that game against? Again, there's another time back to Newcastle under AVB. I remember this game because I was in Bangladesh, and we were battering that goalkeeper. Tim Krul was like Spider-Man, and I swear to God, my family in Bangladesh, if they didn't learn English then, they learned a lot of it. They learned a lot of English words, specifically 2 words that one began with C, the other began with S. Do you know what I'm saying? But that can happen sometimes. Sometimes you can have a goalkeeper, the goalkeeper and the woodwork can tag team to just keep it out. That's what the bloody things are there for. The woodwork is to stop the ball going in. The goalkeeper is there to stop the ball going in. So, like I said, I think
not the goal really.
Yeah, and I think Pickford. Let's face it. I mean, he made some really good saves. I mean, I know Cootie's sort of right at him, but he had to make his body very big and instantly, I call it like casting a net. Cast a big enough net to block whatever Kuti had showing at him. Do you know what I'm saying? And Kuti's not a natural striker. He just blasts it, and that's what he does. And obviously, the seasoned striker will be like, I'm going to go over the side and try and hit it there. So, like I said, I mean, there are good things. I am worried that we've got a lack of cover at left back in terms of the fact that we played. Who did we play there? I think we played Oliver Skipp there last season a few times. I think we're trying to shoehorn Jez Spence there, to cover both left and right fullback positions. I think Ben Davies is now seen to be more of a left centre back than a left back kind of thing. But obviously he can play there, and obviously he may play there. Because obviously we've got the European. When Mickey van der Ven went down, I no professional wants to see his teammate get injured. Do you know what I'm saying? But Did you see how quickly Radu Dragusin jumped up to get changed, to get on? It's like, you know what I mean? He was like chopping at the bit, like, I'm ready to go. And then I don't think he was like, oh man, I missed the slot. But it was just, but like I said, he wants to play, and that's what you want. You want players who want to get on that pitch and make a difference. You know, what you don't want is like, I don't know, a Tanguy and Ndombele like ambling off the pitch, having to be pushed off by his other teammates. Say, get off the pitch. We need to change something. You know what I'm saying? But no, like I said,
You had to remind me of that, didn't you? Jesus.
Yeah. Well, no. At the end of the day, we had last year we only had two centre backs. I mean, no, with Eric Dyer, who basically, Ange was just not willing to trust. He just, and as soon as he was able to get rid, he did. And I think the one thing about the club, which I take very good heart from, I think, is that we will not force you to stay just so you can make up the numbers. Do you know what I'm saying? If we get a good offer, as much as it may pain us, because obviously I think Davinson Sanchez wouldn't have got a game for about at least a good 2 months. Yeah, because I think it was September he went, and then the injuries didn't happen, like the suspension injuries didn't happen until mid-November. And so ultimately, Davinson Sanchez may have been kicking his heels for fucking months anyway. So at least we're doing the right thing by players. We are saying, you're not going to play, we'll get you. Solomon, it's actually Manor, but I call him so. Yeah, I'm still there. Apparently it's not Manor Solomon. It's actually Manor, not Manor. Because obviously I'm thinking Manor.
Yeah, Manor Solomon. Yeah.
But Solo, he's gone to Leeds, and hopefully, I mean, like
Manor Solomon.
I think
he's
on his way Leeds.
Yes.
Yeah, I think first of all, he's going to play at least 50 odd games. So if he can't prove his fitness up there and get his match fitness back, then when is he going to get it? Do you know what I'm saying? That's the first thing. I think the only two players that are still to be going are the Celso, and let's face it, even if he doesn't play for Tottenham, he still gets picked for Argentina. So I don't think he's worried about his international place. Reguilon, who I think they will find a place. I mean, a buddy of mine, Spurs today, I think he spoke about Jadon Sancho. I think Jadon Sancho, I mean, you've got the Chelsea players. I think, is it? I don't know how true it is, but I think they've got 21 players. They could actually have, they actually have a squad of players. Like, I think they're 3 players short of a Premier League squad.
They have an overall squad of around about 40 players. Yeah. And but they've got working with 21, he said.
So there's a full. So it's just it's craziness. So I think there will be a lot of last-minute horse trading because there always is on the last day. But I just don't want to speculate on it because it's people talk about Jadon Sancho. Well, Jadon Sancho is on like £300,000 a week or something at Man United. So I can't imagine Man United saying, "Oh, by the way, you're one of our rivals. We're going to subsidise his wages." I think Borussia Dortmund have signed an English player, Jamie Gissens or something. So whether they've got the money in their, tank to pay for his wages again.
Have they? Okay.
Oh, I don't know. They obviously found enough money to pay some of his wages last year for half a season, but for a full season, that's a huge ask. So obviously they've got a huge stadium and Champions League, blah 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 blah.
Oh.
But at the end of the day, one thing people forget with Jadon Sancho, he hasn't played. I don't think he's been in any of the friendlies, has he? He didn't play in the Community Shield. He hasn't played in the Premier League. I don't think he's even featured in a matchday squad, has he? So he's clearly not fully fit.
He has come up a couple of times in the friendlies. No, he is fully fit. He just
but he's not fully. He's not match fit though. He's not match fit though. He's not match fit. He hasn't got any minutes in his legs, timing and everything else.
Oh right, he's not match fit. Yeah, he's not match fit. Yeah, but no, he's not match fit. Yeah, that's right. But But on the sounds of it, Eric Ten Hag says that he has to play his way back into his play his way back into form, whereas he doesn't have any issue playing.
He has to play his way back into form, but I'm not.
The same way. So it's kind of mixed for you. So we don't actually know really what the issue is. Hmm.
So he has to play his way back into form, but I'm not playing him. So yeah, that makes sense.
Pretty much.
But like I said, I mean, there's a whole bunch. Obviously, you're literally going to have a whole bunch of England wingers. You've got Sterling, you've got Sancho, you know, whoever. It's just, I think, you know, and obviously the Ivan Toney thing, and you know, the Saudi Premier League, whatever they call it, you know, they're not spending money as crazily as they were last season. You know, they are still spending money, but they're not, you know, they're not going to spend it as crazy as they did last year. You know, obviously they didn't get the ratings and they didn't get the attendances at the stadiums, stuff like that. So yeah, it's going to be a bit, you know, so like I said, they've decided to keep their powder dry for a bit. So no, like I said, I am happy with the business we've done. Is it perfect? No, but I don't know anyone. How do I put it? Man City have sold what was his name again? Oh God, Argentinian. It's driving me nuts now. What is his name? Oh God, he got Atletico as well. Man City, they sold him to Atletico. He's Argentinian. I can't fucking. Anyway, they sold him. Alvarez. Yeah. So they only have one senior striker. I am wishing nothing bad on Haaland at all. Okay, but he has an injury. Let's say in international break, whatever. Which I know that's going to happen. I know Haaland's going to get an injury, and Arsenal going to win the title. I know this. Okay, but they're going to. Yeah, he gets an injury, then they have no other striker. They've got like Oscar Bob. I think he's injured. And I'm sure they've got some kids. I mean, obviously, like they've got kids like Cole Palmer in their academy. They haven't played yet. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, God help us all. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Actually,
like I said,
let me posit this one thing for you. Touching on that, you just mentioned Haaland there being the only one recognized striker. I won't name the channel which mentioned this, but you might be able to guess. When they were talking to each other, one of them said to the other, name one other club that has more than one striker, in reference to us having both Solanke and Richarlison. And it sounds like a lot of the other clubs, apart from Chelsea, have only just one recognised striker and have somebody else who can play in that position. I'm not quite sure whether they're trying to say that.
Liverpool have Nunes and Jota, and Jota played brilliantly. If you looked at his running, I feel sorry for them. No, yeah, but he played a central striker for them on Sunday, and if you look at the way he played it, his running really allowed Salah and Diaz to do what they do. So I personally think, so for me, I think you've got that. I think Man United have Højlund. He's injured. Zerkzee can play as a striker, but he's more of a number 10. Exactly. Rashford, we know he can play as a striker, but he prefers to play as playing out on the left wing. I mean, technically, if you want to go that way, we have three. Because Sonny can play the number 9, but likes to play on the left. I think, look, Sonny is our best number 9. He's also our best left winger. That's just, let's not bullshit about it, But he can't play 2 positions at once, unless we can clone him somehow or let him do that multiple man thing. So right now, yes, I'm basically going to rip off Marvel Comics or DC Comics because they call them multiplex. But you've got. So I'm just saying you've got Sonny there. I'm just saying that Liverpool have yet to sign anyone. I mean, I think they've been linked with Enrico Chiesa's son. Now, when that deal was announced, a lot of people were going nuts. Yes. I was like, is that Fabrizio Romano about it? And obviously, but here's the thing. Chiesa was brilliant in the Euros 2 years ago. Superb. But he's been injured like crazy since then. And there's a reason Juventus want to get rid of him off his book. There's a reason why, not that he's a shit player. It's just that, and not because they need the money, obviously, but they do need the money because they bought big for their new coach and everything. They decided that, no, he isn't what I need him to do, so I'm getting rid. He has had a shitload of injuries, so I'm getting rid. It does reek very badly of, I think, who was that? The Thiago Alcantara that Liverpool signed? Bayern Munich said, Thiago says, if I want to stay, I'll get paid this much.
Yes.
And Bayern Munich said, nope, we're not paying that money. Fuck off, we're not paying that. Okay? And so he went to Liverpool, who were willing to pay that money. And I thought, oh my God, Liverpool are going to be devastating because they've got Thiago's ability, what he can do. Well, and he's had some good games, don't get me wrong, but he didn't, the physicality of the league, given with how injured he was, before, as in he had so many miles on his body, do you know what I'm saying? He just wasn't able to do what was needed by Klopp from him at that time. And Klopp, ironically, Arne Slot likes that kind of play. He likes his six to be able to play that ball, those lofted balls and that kind of stuff. Very patient build up for those line breaking passes.
Still there?
So, yep, I'm still there. I'm just saying, Arsenal, who did they sign? I think they signed Calafiore. They signed Calafiore. They let Vieira go back to Porto at a discount.
Yes.
They may still sign. What I'm saying is, right now, it's not. First off, we had COVID that killed liquidity. Number one, so a lot of teams aren't spending that as much money. Secondly, we've had a cost of living crisis. So although people are still going to games, they're not buying as much merch as they once did. They just can't. I mean, we've got that. No. And that's why we have people. That's why we are welcoming the tourists because they will spend money in their shops. That's just how it works. Whereas they're thinking, well, I've only got one opportunity to be here.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'll spend it. Whereas if you are going week to week, you're like, do you know what? Yeah, no, I'll wait till next week. I'll wait till next week. And then next week becomes next month, next year, to never. See what I'm saying? So we are seeing that from, people have a go at the so-called tourist fans. They're the ones that are spending money in the shops. It's not going to be the home fans. Do you know what I mean? As they don't spend anywhere near as much as the tourist fans do. So I just think there's a new football reality. And we've seen it. I mean, Chelsea, I don't know how on earth they are even going to comply with PSR at this rate, personally. But somehow they're going to somehow get, So, like I said, I look at it as Man City signed Savinho. They haven't signed anyone else. I don't remember Grealish playing. I don't know if he's injured, but I don't remember him playing. I don't know if he's injured or not. But apparently they were looking to shift him on.
Yeah.
He's just not playing. So I know they're looking to shift him on. So you've got Grealish, Sterling, and Sancho, who all featured for England, was it 3 years ago? 3 years ago at the Euros, Euro 21. Now, not even featuring at all for this, which shows you how much football can turn in a heartbeat. Do you know what I'm saying? That's just how football changes so quickly.
Very true. Very true.
So, I mean, when I look at, say, if you look at, say, and just sometimes, even if you say, Eze has had one goal disallowed for some bonkers reason, and he had another goal. If you look at that, it's a beautiful strike as well. He gets right into the corner of the cross, right in the intersection of the crossbar and post. And that's how unlucky can you get? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
exactly.
So I just think, the years of clubs spending all their money. I mean, look at us, in January transfer window. How many can we spend big in the January transfer window? I think we were the only ones that did when we bought Radu. I don't think anyone else. It was either loan deals or, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's very much, austerity, for want of a better term. I think football is going through its austerity period. People, obviously there are teams that will spend money, Real Madrid and everyone else, but they'll try and make it up by getting someone on a free transfer. Do you know what I'm saying? They're not. Even PSG.
Yeah.
I mean, I know they signed is it Ruiz, and they signed another player. I think I can't remember his name, but not Ruiz. I can't remember his name. Vitinha or something. It was Vitinha, sorry. And they signed another player. I think also a midfielder. But they're selling Ugarte for about 60 odd million to Man United, or So and then
Yes.
but then they got to shift players on because ultimately, whenever you sign a player on, he doesn't work out. Then he's still on your wage book. So either you've got to shift him out on loan to number one, get him off your wage books, but also protect his value. And I think it's getting much harder and harder to do that because, unfortunately, you're still subsidising it because you talk about West Ham. Yes, West Ham can pay really good wages to a lot of players because of the fact that you and I, as British taxpayers, are subsidising their stadium rent. But the problem they're going to have is that if they sign players on big contracts, which they will be able to offer, they can't get rid of them. If those players don't perform, they can't get rid of them. Now, at the moment, that's not an issue. I think they lost their first game, won their second. I don't give a shit who they're playing in the third game, but they've got some decent, but they have made some good acquisitions. I think Heung-min, they've made some good acquisitions. Liverpool, I don't think they've signed anyone, have they? Apart from, again, they're looking to sign Chiesa. Brighton obviously have signed players. I mean, I just don't think, like I said, there isn't that transfer activity. I mean, I think we've now moved. It's kind of weird, but was it 10 years ago? This is when it means anything to anyone outside of the UK. But 10 years ago, we went into that period of austerity. Football didn't. Football fees went crazy and crazier. To the point that we started seeing purple dildos. We've now gone from purple dildos to to wet blankets.
Yeah.
which is a really. I just heard myself say that, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell did I just say?
I was going to worry where you were going with that for a second.
Like, yeah, but I'm just saying that we're not. Well, I was about to say damn squibs, but that's probably even worse. What I'm saying is you're not seeing the crazy trading in the market. Look, just for example, you had Bordeaux. Bordeaux? They've gone bankrupt. They've been around. They've been around for over a century. Third division side.
Yeah, they're now semi-professional in the third division or fourth division.
Yeah, and so what I'm saying is teams are just basically being very, very careful with their money because if they're not being made to by PSI as they are now, and even look at Everton. Go back to Everton. You've had 3 different people look at their books and say, no, not at that price.
Yeah,
I'm not going to buy it. I'm just not going to buy it.
Yeah.
So. People have a go at us for our stable ownership. Like, apparently, Amanda Staveley's got like £500 million or something, or whatever. She wants to sink to a club. Sink that money anywhere else.
I don't want it anywhere near the club. Yeah, I don't want it anywhere near.
Well, the thing is, again, where will that money go to? The money. What the money go? I don't know. The stadium is being financed by a very low interest mortgage. That our mortgage is extremely low. In fact, we refinanced. So and essentially, I don't know what happened, but essentially we did a refinancing gig, and I'm not saying we're paying any more, but it's just you don't refinance unless the bank asks you to do that. Do you know what I'm saying? And the banks have probably said, look, do this, and then we'll do this for you. Do you know what I'm saying? So it looks good on books on one stage, but it looks better on So what I'm saying is, I remember I saw some guy getting really pissed because there's an NFL sign at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I'm gonna tell this person a deep, dirty secret. There are people that turn up to the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium that have zero interest in Tottenham Hotspur, but they will want to. They will want to do. They want to abseil. They will want to. Go to see Beyonce. They'll want to do their F1 driving, which I don't know what the hell that is. Yeah. They'll want to come to NFL Stadium. So So it is what it is. I mean, would you rather have? I mean, I'm just curious, just to put into context. I've never, and I say this right now because I know people that used to take their dogs to shit at the Emirates. I have never ever gone to the Emirates. So if I'm not one of those people that took their dogs to shit at the Emirates. Yeah, okay. I clean up after I always clean up after my dogs, right? But what I'm trying to say is, I know I'm not been to the Emirates in a long, long time, but I don't think, I think there's a massive sign up for the Emirates logo. There must be, right? Why else would it, why else would there be the Emirates sponsor them? So ultimately, you always have to have that. We haven't had to do that. We've been able to say the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. For whatever reason, when Beyonce, when the NFL, I don't even watch NFL, but when they do it, it's the Jags playing some team at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. There's value in that. So, like I said, we are well run. We haven't bought the farm. And would I like us to support some oven-ready players? Yeah, but again, I would like to know. Man City, they bought a player from Girona, which is one of their. I think they're in the Man City group. They're in the feeder clubs, whatever. Apparently they can do that, but apparently Man United can't sign a player from was it Nice, who's also owned by Jim Ratcliffe. They can't do that, for whatever reason. But you haven't seen a lot of venture spending by anyone, really, have you? Have you seen it?
Very true.
Yeah, I think the only one you can say has done that. I think Barcelona have, they signed Dani Olmo, but they haven't even been able to register him, and they're still trying to shift players. I don't know how that place even runs. I haven't seen the new camp. That wasn't a pun. It was new Camp Now or whatever you want to call it. But if you look at the Real Madrid Stadium, what they've done with that stadium it's amazing. If you look at the remodeled Santiago Bernabéu, bloody hell. So I don't know if Barcelona have done that with their stadium. I think they're going to go. I think their whole thing is, well, we will be back at our home stadium, and we'll have 100,000 people in the stadium, as opposed to 40,000 right now, kind of thing. And we're paying rents, so that's what the whole thing is based upon, and it may work for them. I'm not guaranteeing it will, but it may work. We haven't had to do any of that kind of stuff. We've not had to leave ourselves up. So, no, like I said, I'm a boring. If you say it's not an exciting window, I don't want an exciting window. I don't want to think, oh my God, we need to bring a player in. We need to bring a player in, and we sign in Fraser Campbell or Louis Saha or Ryan Nelson. So I'm saying those days have moved on.
Yeah.
Do we need to bring players in? Yes, every team needs to bring a player in. I think a left back and a goalkeeper, because I don't like the idea of Brandon Austin being our goalkeeper. But you know what?
Okay.
If that means he gets opportunities in the Europa League, then yeah, I'm all for it. So by the way, guys, I don't know if you know this, I don't know if Dane Scarlett or Jamie Donnelly are playing tonight, but I don't know if anyone's showing the League Cup. I think Sky have got a deal where they show all the League Cup games. So if you get a chance, I think they may be showing. Jamie Donnelly will be starting, I think, for later on. I think Dane Scarlett hasn't been starting for Oxford United. So yeah, hopefully, I'll be watching that game. So hopefully, yeah. But like I said, I appreciate Christopher for let me talk so much.
At the moment, and both games are 0-0.
But thanks, Christopher, for letting me talk so much. And even though I did say I thought that clickbait show, how much of it did I really talk about players that we're going to sign? I haven't talked about that. I've talked about other clubs, and even then, I've just said that there isn't much going on. So I'm saying the transfer window was a big driver for clickbait, for websites, and for traffic. Well, you have to magic shit up, because Right now, that isn't happening.
Yeah, nothing's
So
happening in transfer. Yeah, it's very quiet.
So yeah, I won't be on the video blog for the Newcastle game because I will be watching it with the old man. But I hope people do turn up to tune in to watch it. It's always a good laugh. And I'm going to give out and for those, and if you can't understand Chris's wonderful received pronunciation, my buddy Scott Bird will be doing a more Texas. He's from Iowa, but he's got a big Texas accent. So if you like Iowa accent mixed with a bit of Texas, give his Emerald and Lily White blog. Give them a follow on Twitter. Or is it? I'm still not calling it by the letter that comes before Y. And yeah. And Christopher, do you really want me to tell people where they can find me on social media? Or do you want to ask and then just
they can find you?
Just to say no? They can find me. No, I'm not going to tell you where to find me because I really don't want to be found.
That's all good. That's all good. But before we go into that, just a quick one to say that it will be showing the I'll be showing the third round draw tomorrow night on the Carabao Cup. So that's something to look forward to. The draw will start at 10:15. Our program will go live at 10:15. So European sides join in joining the competition at this stage as of tomorrow. Once tonight's and tomorrow's games are completed, so we'll try and bring that live to you. In terms of where to find me, well, I'm on I'm on the group, of course, Tottenham Supplements Facebook group, also on Instagram on the Crisandro. Same with Threads. I don't use Twitter or X, whatever it's called anymore. I just
I thought we were going to. I thought we were going to say the letter. Christopher.
You said you were going to say the letter. I thought I might as well because I absolutely hate that platform now. So yeah, they've destroyed it. Or he's destroyed it.
Well, let's face it. It was a shithole anyway. But he just hastened declined.
Yeah, take it real down the level. But yeah. Anyway, thanks for joining us on this one. Slap a like and follow us on the YouTube channel, and also join us in the Facebook group as well. We do enjoy a good discussion. It is more one of the more uplifting groups, that one might say. We do have a healthy, proper discussion on there, as opposed to anything as my man Shubes says, clickbaity, and we don't do rows on there. We just think things through, think laterally. If you can't think about what you're saying, then obviously our group's not for you. But come and join us if you are. Come and join us if you are. Any final words from you, man?
Do you know what? No, obviously, we're first of all, obviously, I think respect for Sven and obviously condolences to his family, and no, just you know what? I'm going to say this. So I'm going to say one last thing, and so obviously another manager that came from Italy, Claudio Ranieri, and he spoke about I think he was less a manager, and he was going to play Watford, and the guy who took it basically he got fired, and then a guy called Quique Sanchez Flores took his job. And he goes, and he feels revenge. He goes, yeah, it's big revenge. I want to kill him. And it's like, he's a nice guy. It's just, he goes, it's just football. And I hate to break it down for people who may have nothing else going on in their lives apart from a bunch of 11 strangers who do not give a shit about what this one person thinks or doesn't think about them or how good they played or how shit they played. It's just football. Yeah. Get over it. Enjoy it. And you know what? Be nice. You know what? It takes, there are enough dicks in the world, okay? The world doesn't need any more of those.
Mm-hmm.
You guys I said dicks. I didn't say the other word.
That's all right. That's all right. We all know what you meant, though. It's all right. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. And join us tomorrow for the Carabao Cup draw. We shall be going live at 10:15 p.m. That's UK time. So join us for that. And until then, thanks for watching. Ciao on you Spurs, and you all take care. Will be.